There's a saying that goes, 2 is better than 1. 2 sandwiches, 2 summer homes, 2 friends. But sometimes it's better to say 1 and done. It seems as though this has been a century-long debate when it comes to automotive keys. Keys go way back, but they originally didn't actually start the car. They were used to turn the car's power on, but a secondary button was used to actually turn the engine over. In 1949, Chrysler pioneered the first turnkey system, making for one key that would turn the car completely on with one twist. But each car still got 2 different keys, one for the fancy new ignition, and one for the trunk and sometimes the door locks, depending on the car. At the beginning, this was because the door locks were added later, or not even offered and installed later. So it was commonplace to have 2 different keys for each car. This began to be phased out in the 1960s by most car makers. Ford introduced the 2-sided key in 1965, and European cars adapted very quickly. Japan did too, but for some reason GM stuck with it through the very early 2000s. The square key would turn the car on, while the round key was for the doors and trunk. There's a lot of debate on the internet as to why they kept it for so long. So here are some of those arguments, and you can decide for yourself. Reason number 1 was safety and security. This comes directly from GM themselves, stating that the 2 keys were there so a valet may be given the ignition key, but not the door key, so they can't access your trunk or glove box. This is great in theory and true, but it also means that the valet can't lock your car when it's parked, so passerbys can sit in it and mess up your nice velour seats. Reason number 2, ease of manufacturing. This one sounds more likely to me, and my personal belief. GM could manufacture the door locks and ignitions in 2 separate places across town or across the world, whatever was easiest or cheapest. When the cars are finally put together, they can slap any ignition in any car because the locks didn't have to match. Just grab one off the shelf and install it. These locks would normally have a code etched in them, so if a replacement key was needed, you could get one cut after decoding the serial number. The third reason is legacy. GM is known for doing things just because they've done it forever, like Buick's vents, meaning how high the trim level was, or later, how many cylinders the car has. GM owners value tradition, so having 2 keys, oftentimes being decorated in cool designs, was just what owners were used to. GM is rich in history, and at one point was the largest employer in Michigan. Talk to anyone in that state, and they'll know someone who worked at GM. Those employees stayed loyal, and they like things to stay the same. So what finally killed off the dual key? Well, chipped keys played a big role. As car security technology progressed, keys got chips inside of them that would communicate with the car. One of the first cars to have this, funny enough, was a GM product, the Corvette ZR1 in the early 90s. This made keys more expensive and bonded the key to the specific car, not just cut from a certain predetermined pattern. This, matched with the rise of keyless entry, remote alarm systems, and push to start, traditional keys slowly became more obsolete. Now, this idea isn't totally dead. Some cars throughout the 2000s have a special valet key that couldn't open the trunk or glove box. Some vehicles also have 2 keys for different drivers, or famously, the Dodge Hellcat has a black key for only 500 horsepower and a red key for the full 700. But technology does make me wonder, will keys become obsolete completely? Modern EVs can be unlocked and driven just by using your phone. While teaching my friend how to drive stick shift, she burnt my starter motor after stalling because she had never driven a car with a turnable key, only a push button start. I don't know what the future holds, but I do love the quirkiness of having 2 keys for the same little car. I hope you guys enjoyed this video essay. I was so excited to put this out. I find it so funny. Every time I drive a 90s or early 2000s GM product, it bewilders me that they have 2 keys. Have you owned a car with 2 keys? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section down below, and if there's any other topics you would like touched on in this video series. But until next time, thank you so much for watching.